All right, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the second chapter in Unit 5. And for this, it's buying or selling a car. Today we're going to compute the mean, the median, the mode, the range, quartiles, and the interquartile range. Now, most of this should sound very familiar because as far back as 7th and 8th grade, you were dealing with basic statistics. The mean is the average, the median is the middle, the mode, what happens most often. The range, it's from top to bottom. The only new ones, and you have gone through them before, but they may not be as familiar as our quartiles and our interquartile ranges. So we're going to go through all of that today. But let's look at the first example. It says that Jason wants to sell his Ford SUV, and he compiles these prices on the internet, similar to his. So we've got these 5 prices that he found, and he said what's a reasonable price for him to consider for his SUV. So basically what we're doing here is we're going to find a mean or an average. And we've done this quite a bit already, so we already know that finding the mean means taking all of these values, and I've got 9,900, I've got, and actually I'm going to list the 9,000 first. I've got 9,000, I've got 9,900, I've got 10,500, I've got 11,000, and I've got 12,100. Now you'll notice that I took a little bit of time to rewrite these values, and I didn't write them exactly as they are above. I actually put them in ascending order, and there's kind of a reason for that. A lot of times if I'm going to be asking you for the mean, I'm also going to be asking you for the median. And remember, the median is the middle, so if I've already rewritten the whole thing in ascending order, it's going to be very easy to identify the median. So here, I'm going to go ahead and add those values together, and I'm going to divide it by 5. So let's go ahead and take a look at this on our calculator. And we've got 9,000 plus 9,900 plus 10,000. Okay, 9,000 plus 9,900 plus 10,000 plus, and I'm sorry, that was 10,500, so I'll just add another 500 in, plus 11,000 plus 12,100. And it totals 52,500. I'm then going to take that value and divide it by 5, and I find that my mean is 10,500 for the mean. And interestingly enough, remember I said we put them in ascending order to find the median? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I come from the outside in, I find that the third value is the median. So the median is also 10,500. So we do know that this is a fair market value for this particular car. Please press pause, go ahead and solve for this, come back when you're ready. All right, let's take a look at it. So again, I'm going to go ahead and put these in order. So I've got 4,200, I've got 4,900, I've got 5,750, I've got 6,250, I've got 6,500, and I've got 7,500. And in this case, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 values. So I'm going to be dividing this whole thing by 6. So again, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Let's clear our old value out. So we're going to take 4,200 plus 4,900 plus 5,750 plus 6,250 plus 6,500 plus 7,500. And then I'm going to divide that by 6. And it looks like 5,850 is my mean. Now, if I were to ask for the median here, it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit different because if I were to number these, there's an even number. So if I start crossing out and coming to the middle, notice that there are actually two values that fall in the middle. So in order to do that, to find the median with an even number of values, I'm going to add those two middle values together. So I have 5750 and 6250. I'm going to add them together and get 12,000, and then I'm going to divide by 2. So basically I'm finding the mean of the middle. So in this case, the median is 6,000. All right, example 2. Dory is looking for a 1967 classic Firebird. She finds these prices on the internet, and she computes the mean to be $28,171.40. This number doesn't seem to be a good representation of the data. How can she find a better representation? So what she's saying is, if we break this down, let's list these in order. I've got 17,500. I've got 18,000. I've got 19,000. I've got 21,200. 22,000. 22,500. And whoa, somebody's really out there with a $77,000 car. And when you think about finding the average, if one of those values is completely out of line with the rest of them, it's going to, what we call, skew this data. It's going to pull it away from a true representation of what the car's worth. And so in this case, using the mean is not going to be the best representation of central tendency. So let's take a look at the median and see if it represents it any bit better. So we're going to go ahead. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values. So crossing out from outward in, we find that the middle value, or the median, is $21,200. And if you look at that, it's kind of right in line, it's right in the middle of most of the values. And so the median in this case is going to be a much better representation. Please press pause, go ahead and solve for this. When you're ready, come back. All right, so in this question, it's asking us to find the mean and the median. So quickly, let's get it into order. 1,200, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, 1,650, 1,850, and 2,000. And now I look at it, I notice that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of data. So in my opinion, the median is always the easier one to find, so let's do that first. And I find that my median is 1,600. So now let's find out what the mean is by adding all of these values together. We know there are 7 of them, so we're going to divide this by 7. So let's pull our calculator back up. And we've got 1,200 plus 1,400 plus 1,500 plus 1,600 plus 1,650 plus 1,850 plus 2,000. That totals 11,200, and then we're going to divide by 7. So in this case, the mean is also 1,600. And so then it asks, is the data skewed? So let's talk for a second about what being skewed means. A data is skewed or skew when the mean and the median are different. Now understand, it can be very, very, very close. So let's say that the mean was 1600 and the median was 1601. They are different, so this is skew. In this particular case, though, both data, both the mean and the median, are 1600. So in this case, this data is not skew. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and look at example 3 here. And on example 3, it says, find the median of the following used cars prices. So again, all we're doing is putting these in order. 5,800. And sometimes what I do is I kind of check it off so that I know I am doing it correctly, that I'm not missing any. So that's what you're kind of seeing me do here as I rewrite it. I'm putting them in order and I'm checking them off to make sure that I've got all of them and that they are all in the correct order. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 values. Up here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 values. So I have them all. Now remember I said if there is an even number of data, can you remember what I asked you to do to find the median? And hopefully how you're answering is that I take the two middle values, I add them together and basically find the average of the middle values. So in this case, 7,700 plus 7,800 is 15,500. And then I divide that by 2, and I get that the median is 7,750. Okay, please press pause, solve for this, come back when you're ready. All right, let's go ahead and look at these. I've got $29.99. I've got 9,300 and a 9,600. Next I have 10,200. I've got 11,900 and I've got 17,200. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, that means there are two middle values. So I'm going to add those together and I get 19,800. When I divide by 2, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get 9,900 is my median. All right, example 4. It says the prices found online for a GPS navigation system are as follows. And it's asking us to find the range of these prices. So again, we're going to put them in order. So we have 199, 200, 225, 295, and 345. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values, and I've got 5 listed here. The range is simply taking the top value and subtracting the bottom value, and I find that my range here is 146. Okay, for the you do, it's asking you to find the range of the used cars in example 3. Please do so and press play when you're ready. All right, example 3. So finding the range, I take my top value, which is 9,100. I subtract the bottom value, which is 5,800. And so I'm going to get 9,100 minus 58. And the range is 3,300 for this answer.